What's up, everyone? Y'all know what it is. Another Wednesday edition of the Allen Powell Show. Got some special guests in the building. We talking NBA playoffs. Negro leagues have added the stats to the MLB. They were added. We have Bronny James draft status. The Celtics, is this their year? So all of those things and more, we're going to get ready to lock and load and get this thing going. Let's go.
We lock and load, Allen Powell. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. We lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. We lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. We lock and load. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. We lock and load. Come on. Yeah.
Thank y'all for joining the show once again. Wednesday night edition of the Allen Powell Show. A lot to discuss, so I got some important people in the building. Vic Legrone back. It's been a minute, man. Thank you for joining the show, brother.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me back, man. It's always a pleasure.
And then we got Cleveland State's assistant basketball coach, Travis Lewis, coming to give us some expertise on a lot of subjects. Thank you, my brother.
Always good, man. Just like Vic, happy to be back.
Yeah, man. So it's been a minute. The NBA playoffs is going right now, and I just want to get right into it, man. Last night's game, T-Wolves forced a game 5, no sweep, and to me, I think this can actually be a series. Do I think the T-Wolves can pull it out? No, but I think they can make it interesting. Going back to Minnesota to force a game 5. What did y'all see in that game last night? Travis, I want to come to you first because I had a problem with the T-Wolves game plan for the most part, and specifically Karl Anthony Towns, man. And I want to know from you as a coach what you see out of him and what would you tell him? Now, he had a pretty good game last night, but for the most part, to me, he shoots too many threes, and he always have a height advantage. But for whatever reason, he want to show everybody how good he can shoot. But I feel like when he plays more in the paint and have more of a balance, I think they're more dangerous. And I think if I was a coach, I would tell him to shoot 3 to 5 threes at the most, no more than 5, because he has an advantage. What are you seeing out of Cat, and how do you think he's playing?
Man, first of all, I just think is the T-Wolves as a whole, right? The hardest thing to do as a coach is coach the best players. And if you go back to the series before versus the Nuggets, man, the coaching staff refused to go small, right? We had a baby, and they were small when Gobert had his baby.
Right.
Off the Nuggets. And then he came back, and because he was Defensive Player of the Year, one of the best players, they continued to stay big, and they forced a Game 7.
Right.
When in reality, I thought in that series, it should have been a tandem of Cat and Rudy going back and forth, coming in and out in order to stay small. And then I think the trickle effect has been now there's a different matchup, and the matchup this time is bigs having a disadvantage, right? Cat having a disadvantage in the post, but he's settling for threes because athleticism for the T-Wolves was the advantage the series before. This series is their size. So it has to be that tough conversation of either, man, we're going to put you in the post, or you're going to have to sit down, right? We have to find a way. The NBA is a game of mismatches, and in the regular season, you can worry about egos and personalities and frustrations. When you get to these playoffs in a 7-game series and it's win 4 games, man, those egos go to the side. We figure out what's best for this particular matchup in this particular game.
Man, you know, I didn't think about, like you said, when Rudy Gobert did have the baby, he was out, and they was forced to change their lineup. But of course, he's a veteran. He's a defensive player of the year. Everybody don't have the personality to take that. Have you ever dealt with the personality where you had to make a decision and you don't know how a player is going to react, or a player reacted not the right way, and then how did that go? Have you ever had that happen before?
Man, I think it happens every day, but that's why the game of basketball is such a life lesson teacher, because the number one way to solve those issues is honesty. I think if you bring the bigs in, you transparent, you communicate it early, You have evidence to support, hey, these are the ways that we've been able to be successful. When Rudy Gobert was out, we went small. This was our margin of victory. Like, it's so many analytics that's attached to winning and losing, and you can make those numbers go into your favor. That same thing can be true with Cat of like, man, this is when we played these teams in the regular season and you went in the post, this is how we were able to dominate, right? Being able to be tactical in your message, but also be transparent in the fact of like, man, this is what we want to do. Right. When you fall into bad situations is when it's a halftime adjustment of like, man, we taking Cat out. He ain't giving it to us. Now you lost belief in me as a player, and you get that conflict and that pushback. But that's at every level, from grade school to high school to college. You can run into that because a lot of these guys that are really, really good superstars, they also, man, they got some ego trip. They got some, they lack confidence in certain areas and those type of things. So being transparent with them, knowing you had a back is a long game, especially in the NBA, bro. In the NBA, you don't coach basketball, you coach personalities, right? You're managing personalities. So you have to be elite at managing this personality when it's time for you to install your game plan as a coach.
Right. Vic, I want to get you in, man. What are you seeing out of this series, and what do you think about what Travis just said about coaching Anthony Towns and coaching personalities and just his overall play of his style of play?
I mean, that's the professional there, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of touched on basically everything that I was kind of going to say, but I will say this though, and that was my thing. I always thought that would happen with Minnesota. It would always come down to the coaching. I get that they were the one seed in the regular season, you know what I'm saying? But we've seen that before out of the Tom Thibodeau Bulls and Tom Thibodeau other teams, you know, just guys spring up, they the number one seed and, you know, they playing well and they make it to the conference finals, and the things that they don't do well in that 7-game series get exposed. Like, to me, the lack of physicality out of these two big 7-foot guys is just crazy. I'm not going to call them soft because I guess it's the way they're being coached or whatever. But, man, they should be dominant, bro. Like, those two big guys should be dominant on both ends of the court against that little bitty old Mavericks team up front on that front line. They got Gafford, and that's it. The other guy was injured last night. Minnesota got the win, but when he come back, they play down. Like, he plays bigger. What's his name? Lyles. Yeah, he played bigger than Cadam Gobert right now.
Oh, you talking about Nas Reed?
No, the guy for the Mavericks.
Oh, you said Lively. You talking about Lively?
Lively. I'm sorry, Lively. Yeah. Like, he's played bigger than both of those guys. And he was out last night. You see, Cat got a little off. He was there last night. The series probably would have been over.
Now listen, you said you didn't want to call it soft. I said for you, it's giving soft vibes. Giving soft vibes. Go ahead.
To me, it goes back on the coaching. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. He already has spoken. It goes back to how they being coached to me. And it's the way it always been. They got away with it in the regular season. Like he said, there was a comfortability. There was a comfortability with that. But that does not work against this team. Like, every team is differently in a 7-game season. You're not playing the same team every night in the regular season. So everybody's seeing something different first time. Now people are making adjustments game to game. And those big guys ain't doing nothing, man. It's all on Ant-Man, and that's it.
Trav, I'll get you back in real quick. How long do you see this series going? Nobody's ever come back from a 3-0 lead, but I do think Minnesota can win Game 5 at the crib, and then at that point, it's just a 1-game playoff to try to get it back to Game 7. But what's your thoughts about how far this series can go?
Man, just to go off of Vic a little bit first with the softness and the attack of the bigs, I think the athleticism is hurting the bigs of the T-Wolves because the bigs from Dallas are playing in the air. Like, Luka and Kyrie getting their way, and whenever the bigs come over to help, they just throwing them up by the rim, and those bigs are playing in the space up there. And that's where Cat don't really got a lot of lift. Gobert is long, but still he's not really a big-time jumper. So I think that's hurting them. That's why it can be helpful to go small. But also, if you look at those first two series, right, against Phoenix and against the Nuggets, there was an edge. There was an X factor.
Yeah.
Like, man, those were some of the most physical games I've seen in the NBA in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think because they dominated the Nuggets so well, there was this sense of we've arrived, right? This sense of entitlement, this sense of like, man, we just going to beat them and move on to the finals.
Yeah.
And last night, Gobert got in a little tug of war, pushy back and forth, right? You can see some of that edge coming back because now it's like, man, we're not getting sweep. No, a sweep isn't happening.
Right.
The problem is in the NBA and in basketball all the way around, guards win. And I don't think that the guards of Minnesota are going to be able to contain the guards of Dallas and Luka and Kyrie for 3 more games in a row.
Right.
So I do think, Al, I do think that they'll win game 5 at home just because of the edge factor, crowd factor, those things. But game 6 is a done deal.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to speak to the edge that you talked about because they did have that edge. And I think that's what got them in trouble at the same time because they brought that same energy thinking it was going to be sweet. And we heard Anthony Edwards at the beginning of the series like, yeah, my matchup is going to be Kyrie. Thinking it was sweet because of what he did to Jamal Murray, right? But he didn't expect Uncle Drew to come out. And Uncle Drew came out and listen, these guys can get buckets. Like, their offense beats good defense. You can play great defense and they can still get their shot off. And that's the problem in this series. Kyrie, we know he's one of the best ball handlers to ever play the game. And we know Luka nobody can make him speed up, go faster than he wants to. He's a big guard and he's going to get his shot off. And so I think Anthony Edwards, with that edge that you was talking about, came in, tried with the same edge. But nah, Kyrie said, hold on, young fella, you this is different. It's levels. And Kyrie's ball handling levels, shot making levels, Luka's shot making ability. Like, yo, this is a little different. And every matchup is different. Vic, where do you see this series? How far you see this series going?
Yeah, I'm with Coach. I see it going 6. Dallas in 6.
I would love to see a 7-game series though, just because and I don't know if you heard Anthony Edwards at the beginning of the last game. He said, "Don't let us get one. Don't let us get one." And now they got one. Yeah,
I heard him. And he's been talking his talk all playoffs, man. Like you said though, too, touching on the Kyrie thing. That's Kyrie Irving, man. Like, bro, you don't poke the bear, man. Kyrie is a baby bear, man. That dude is like ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? Even at, what is he, like 32? He's still ridiculous, man. He just at his prime. Like, you touched on his ball handler. When he got tested, he still can shoot the 3 though, too. Like, there's nothing he really can't do out there on that court, though, bro. Like mid-range game, left hand game, like you name it, bro. That man got it. He got a bag of tricks, and then you got Luke over there. He is just playing so confident because he literally knows there's nobody on Minnesota that can guard me. He knows it. He played like it. And that's just going to be hard for the Timberwolves to overcome because he's going to keep on going at their next. And so is Kyrie. They're not going to let up. They not.
Coach, I want to ask you another a question about Kyrie because he said in one of the games in the post game, and they asked him, like, when Anthony Edwards said what he said, did he motivate you and this and that? And I believe, if I'm not wrong, he said absolutely. He heard everything Anthony Edwards said, and he took it in stride. And so, as a coach, is that a real thing? And then do coaches go to players to egg them on and say, "Oh, did you hear what this person said, or did you read the newspaper?" As a coach, do you use little motivational tactics like that to some of your players?
Man, bulletin board material is real. Hey, whatever we need in order to get the mentality going and bring out Uncle Drew. Yeah, I'll say this about Kyrie, right? Because right before the series started, everybody was like, "Man, how can Kyrie play second hand to Luka, but he couldn't play second hand to LeBron?" And that was a topic of conversation here in Cleveland because that's where they tagged up.
Right.
I've never been a true Kyrie fan. Like, he could dribble, he play fast. I'm like, man, he over dribble. He don't really play good basketball because his ball handling is so well. He's made me a believer this series. I've seen him play the best basketball he's ever played. And one of the reasons for that is because of his sense of maturity. Like, I thought he was a team killer at one point,
right,
where he would go and, man, have locker room beef, cause controversy, those type of things. You can see Kyrie taking a different type of sense of ownership in winning this series and being a leader.
Yes.
Right. And then the last thing, from a coaching standpoint, man, I'm putting Ant-Man on Luka. He's not going to get sped up. So use your physicality, use your aggressiveness on him. And now I'm going to take length because you're not ripping Kyrie. He got
Right.
great speed. So
Right.
you know you need to retreat and protect inside of the paint. Be as long as you can and contest shots to make it difficult. Change the match. Yeah, Ant-Man is your best defender, but that's not the best matchup for your team. The best matchup for your team is have the longest guy on Kyrie, right? That can stay in front so he can't just get step into threes.
Right.
But he want to play kind of in that 15 to 17 foot range, stay in front, contest long shots. And then put Ant-Man on Luka and just, be physical, have a strong chest, make collisions at the rim, make him frustrated.
Yeah.
You got to switch it. Ant can't guard Kyrie. And not to the benefit of the team.
And I think that's the method that they chose last game. They even said a pregame what they was going to do: put Ant-Man more on Luka and McDaniels on Kyrie. So I think that's exactly what they did. I want to move on to the Celtics. They made it to they're back in the finals again, and I just want to know, like, Vic, I'm gonna start with you. Like, man, do you think this is the year that they actually win it?
Nah. Nope.
No?
Nah.
Still not a believer?
Nope. Not a believer, bro. They don't match that. Dallas would be a kryptonite for them, bro.
I agree.
Dallas would be a kryptonite for them because Luka and Tatum cancel out each other. Brown ain't really gonna guard Kyrie. They got White. I think this pretty good though, but this could be where them missing Porzingis and that Cat and Gobert can really make their presence known.
Right. Yeah. For me, I'm rooting for Kyrie just because of all the stuff that he went through, with getting suspended, for his post, and then what they was talking about in Boston, that he like we say, he can't lead a team and things of that nature. Like, I'm rooting for Kyrie just because of those reasons. I'll tell you this, is going to be a great storyline because of the being a former Celtic, and even they mentioned this on TNT. Even Porzingis used to play for Dallas. If he comes back, that's going to be a storyline. So the storylines are there for a good finals, of course. But I'm rooting for Kyrie for sure. I got a couple of comments on Facebook. Black Butterfly Pod checking in, says Gafford has outplayed Cat, former Bull, by the way. And he says Boston better win it. If they don't, you're going to have to break them up. I don't know about Kryptonite. They have two people that can guard Kai and Jan Kai guy. And they got two people that can guard Luka. I want Dallas to win, but I don't know. Boston scares me. They haven't been tested yet either. That's a good point. They haven't been tested. This run to the finals remind me of the LeBron years in the Eastern Conference. Like how weak it was, like all those times. But I'll say this: if the Celtics don't win it this year, I think it's a chance Joe Mazzulla might get fired, because you have the team, and this is the second time that they're there, and I think he might get fired. Go ahead and I see you shaking your head, Travis. Go ahead, tell me your thoughts.
Man, first, Bron blew his chance to be the GOAT when he left Cleveland, because he could have been in the finals every year of his NBA career, and he went over there to that melting pot of a basketball mecca on the West Coast, because everybody want to live on the West Coast. So Bron did that to himself.
Yep.
I'm definitely cheering for Kyrie.
Yes.
Right? Kyrie, when he was in Cleveland, his house was like 3 blocks over from mine. That mother got burnt down and everything. So now it's just going to be a storyline at the crib for the kids.
Right.
So I'm betting on black. I'm going with Kyrie. That boy bringing it to the crib the way he playing.
Right.
And then when it comes to the Celtics, I think the Celtics have won so much.
Yeah.
In the era of basketball in the NBA. They are just happy to be in the finals each year.
Well, you think so? Just to be happy?
I don't think that program, that organization, because they've won so many championships, really care about winning the whole shit. They just happy they get to be in the shit. Now, they'll take one or two. Joe Mazzulla ain't messing things up.
Right.
He ain't a crowd dislike. None of that. Now, I will say this. That athleticism in Dallas is going to be too much to handle for the Celtics. And once again, I think the guards in Dallas are more clutch, more connected, and more skilled to consistently be better in 7 games than the Celtics.
The point that you made about the bigs being athleticism, that's the first time I've ever heard somebody talk about that. And I think it's a great point, because you can see it. You can see Cat is heavy on. He's a heavy 6'11", 7-footer. He's not athletic, and we know Gafford can go up and catch the oop, and we know Gobert is just a rim protector, but he can't get out there and guard like that. And somebody had told me like he shouldn't even won defensive player of the year. Should have been Wembanyama, because he's more able to guard even out on the perimeter better than Rudy. But that's a great point, and I think it does translate to the Boston series, because Porzingis is not athletic and Horford is old. So
hey, me and Horford graduated high school together, bro. We the same age. Easy.
Hey, bro. Hey, what do you mean by what you talking about? What you mean by bro?
He's seasoned, Al.
Oh, okay.
Not real years. You know what I'm saying? Real years, just basketball years.
I'm just kidding. But bro. Yeah, but touching on what you're saying though, too, don't forget about Derrick Jones with his athleticism. He's been playing. He's been hitting the 2 or 3 threes a game, just playing his role, getting the oop when he's supposed to, critical offensive rebound. Like the Mavericks, getting a lot out of their bench.
Yes.
And
the
Mavericks getting a lot out of their bench.
I want to talk about another aspect of the Boston Celtics that frustrates me, and that's the shot selection by Jason Tatum in particular. But just a shot selection sometimes gets on my nerve, baffles me. Like Jason Tatum really gets on my nerve, because if the three is not falling, man, you tall enough, get in the point in a post or drive the ball to the basket and get an easy basket. He shoots too many threes. Now it's not as bad as Cat, because Cat has a real big advantage to me with weight and height. But Tatum sometimes I think takes bad shots, and it hurts the team as a whole. Vic, what you think about that? What do you think about Tatum's shot selection with the Celtics?
It's so crazy that you brought that up, because it's been that way since he first came into the league. Like, he's gotten to be a better player, obviously, but it's still the same old Jason Tatum, though, bro. He shoots you in the game or he shoots you out of a game, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like hit or miss with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, he's been more consistent lately, but he like hit or miss. He is. Right. It's like I get his mentality. I understand his mentality. What he's doing is like this his team. He wants to put the team on his back, but you have to put the team on your back in the right situations and with the flow and the chemistry of the team, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go outside of what works, you know what I'm saying, to try to be the man. You know what I'm saying? You got other capable guys that can step up on other nights and get you 20, 25 points a game. You don't always have to try to go out and score 35, thinking that you Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying, and you're not. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to go out and play your game. He like a little bit at times. He's a little over aggressive. I'll say that.
I agree, and I think that comes with IQ. And as a coach looking at him, Trav, what do you think about his IQ and shot selection and just the way he plays the game?
Man, I'm more of good basketball. Like I won't watch the Celtics during the regular season for that specific reason. Like I think him and Jaylen Brown compete with who could take the most bad shots. And at some point, like Vic talked about that kryptonite, it becomes the Achilles heel of not being able to be disciplined enough late game in order to win tough games. Because you're not just hooping no more. Like every possession impacts the end of the game, and there are so many possessions throughout the duration of the game, if it's in transition or half court, where it's like, man, it's my turn to shoot. Yeah. And my turn to shoot can hurt you in big games. So, man, I'm against it. I do think that Jason Tatum is one of the most explosive scorers in the NBA.
Right.
But I think his explosiveness to score at times hurts the Celtics. And with him being the leader with that mentality, it can hurt him overall.
Yeah. Those more great points, man. Especially the
bro. His inefficiency, like with his scoring, like you got 30, but you took 30 shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Right. Absolutely. And it's starting to turn out like Jaylen Brown is the best player on the team right now. And we know talent wise it should be Tatum, but it seems like Brown is more efficient and he's more consistent. And it's like, yo, everybody want to put Jason Tatum at a certain level, and right now he's not playing like the best player on the team. Black Butterfly Pie says, Cat is a losing player, and I don't know. Porzingis will pull out Gafford from that point and spread them out. Mav struggled with OKC due to Chet Holmgren. Porzingis is a better version. To me, Brown is their best player, and if they win, I think it would be because of Brown. Okay, I think you had something else to say too, Trav. Did you have something else to say? I thought I heard you before I read that comment.
Man, just saying that if the Pacers can close out game one, we may be looking at a game 7 in this series. Like we're 3 possessions away from that series going 7 games. With the exception of the last game, every possession, it was a 1 or 2 possession game that cost the Pacers a chance to be in game 7. So we can say the Celtics haven't been challenged. I don't think they haven't been challenged. I think they've been fortunate. And they didn't get the ball in game 1. You had Halliburton out game 3. Like, it's a lot of different things that came into effect from them not being in the game 7 just with Indiana.
They have been fortunate, but I think when people say they haven't been tested, I think they're talking about the talent level. We all know Indiana is overachieved. They don't have the star power. Halliburton is good. Siakam is good, but what stars have they really won against? And I think when it gets to the finals, now you're going to have some real stars that you're going to have to deal with, and not just a whole bunch of either on the rise players or just above average, borderline all stars. So I think that's what they're talking about when they haven't been tested. Vic, what you think?
That's absolutely, I agree. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no Kyrie Irvings and Luka Doncic is in the Eastern Conference for you to beat to get there. You know, so this is where you about to see what you made of. This is what you about to see what you made of, bro. Boston Celtics. If this y'all year, go out and beat those guys. Show the world. I don't see it. Show us though. Show us. It's possible that you could do it. I just don't. I just think that's a bad matchup for them. That's just me. Just watching the games, I think Dallas is a bad matchup for everybody right now. The way they're playing, they just a bad matchup for everybody right now.
They are playing well, and I'm just shocked.
And they're playing with confidence, bro. That's the killer key about it. They're playing with confidence. They feel that they are better than Minnesota, and they feel like their best team. And Luka and Kyrie trying to go out there and win the championship. And they've been playing like it. Like those guys they've been the best 1-2 punch in the playoffs.
I did not think that they had enough to make it to the finals, like coming into the playoffs. You know, they made the mid-season trades with Gafford and P.J. Washington. But when I tell you, like, those pieces fit like a glove, it's like, man, I'm shocked out on how quick that they was able to come together. Coach, I want to get you back in because I got a question. Like, as far as coaching go, we know if you're just super talented, sometimes that can just coaching. You don't need a lot of coaching. But I feel like coaching can play a big role, definitely when it comes down to certain situations. What do you think as far as how much coaching plays a part when you have a lot of talent?
Man, consistently, like you look at every level, it's evenly matched. The talent level is just higher as you go up, right? So even with us being in the Horizon League, when we in conference, the talent pretty much is evenly matched. When you talk about Power Fives, the talent level evenly matched. When you get to the NBA, the talent level is evenly matched. So the coaching piece comes into play in all dead ball situations, right? Out of timeouts, right? We know what they're going to execute. We know 2 or 3 things they're going to do. How are we going to impact and make sure we take them away from being able to score after timeouts?
Right.
Baseline out of bounds situations. Like, are we going to get a lob up or are we not? Sideline out of bounds situations. Right. So it becomes situational basketball and us being able to make adjustments or throw wrinkles in there to win those possessions.
Right.
So, for example, right now in the offseason, everybody like, man, what do a college coach do in the offseason? I spent the whole week figuring out, like, man, what was our margins in special situations? We gave up 18 points a game in special situations. That's baseline, sideline, after timeouts. 18 points a game. When you look at sideline out of bounds, we gave up 2 points a game. You look up baseline out of bounds, we gave up 4 points a game. So we got beat 14 points a game after timeouts, and we won 21 games.
Wow.
If we can only give up 10 points a game in special situations,
right,
we would have went undefeated and won every game by 1 based off the numbers and looking at those situations.
Wow.
So now you go back and you analyze and evaluate, man, okay, should we have played a little bit of zone more coming out of timeouts? Should we have switched everything? Should we have blitzed ball screens? Right? When you talk about baseline out of bounds stuff, like should we have win zone? So you figure out how to tactically take away the dead spots, because that's when coaches put their thumbprint on the game. Wow. After a missed shot, you got to have better players to stop Jason Tatum from going from a defensive rebound to a dunk. Right? You have to have better players to get down the floor and stop Kyrie from coming off of a ball screen and transition to go score. We can't save you as a coach.
Right.
But when the play stops,
right,
and we know tactically what the other team wants to do, now we can save you. And in the NBA, it's less of that through the 82 games.
Right.
When you get to the playoffs, you get the premium aspect of that.
That's some analytics that I never heard broke down like that. We hear all the analytics and the numbers as far as shoot more threes than twos and things of that nature, but nobody's ever talked about the dead ball situations and how many times a team gets beat. So that's like inside information we just got right there. So that's amazing. That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that, man, because nobody's talking about nothing like that, man. I just want to say that was great. That was great, man. Vic, what you think about what he just said? Because I never heard that, man.
Yeah, that was Coach 101 right there. You know, so that's Coach speak. That's why he in that position that he in, though, bro. Like, you gotta do your job. He's a student of the game, though, bro. I just call that a student of the game.
Man,
like for him to be in that position, bro, like he really loved the game of basketball, bro. That's what that tells me right there. He loves the game of basketball, period.
That's basketball 101 inside information on the Allen Pals. I'm glad it was able to happen here. I'm definitely gonna clip that up because nobody's talking about that. But moving on, you brought something up when you just said you talked about the Power Five. Now I want to get into the news that the NCAA and the Power Five agreed to a deal that will let schools pay players. Now we already talked about the NIL and what that has done, but this seems like it's different. Where aside from the NIL, as a coach in the college ranks, can you break this down to the people in case they don't understand what's going on here?
So the NCAA just want to take the power back, baby. That's it. Hey, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the respect, right? A year ago, our best player, we convinced to come back for, let's say, $50K. I ain't gonna put his money out there in his business, right? So we're gonna say $50K, just use that as a general number. If he had a year left, he would have been able to leave, right? And our best player this past season was the MVP of Portsmouth, right? Top 64 seniors. He went to Portsmouth, got MVP, and worked out with 23 different NBA teams. So he's really good. Had he came back and he had another year, he could have left us, went back to a Power Five, and made $500K plus. Right? That's the transformation that the NIL has had in just a year. Right. So you have to understand the domino effect and the flame that NIL caught. Now, the purpose of NIL is for you to be able to make money off of your name, your image, somebody using your picture, or your likeness, how many social media followers you have. That's why you're supposed to get the money.
Right.
But because there are so many gray areas, right? There are so many loopholes. People have found a way to pay players and say it's because of their name, their image, and their likeness. And these proceeds have exceeded over millions of dollars, right? So we had a kid that went to Washington. He made $2.2 million. He got there yesterday. He'll be done playing basketball in 9 months. So in 9 months, he's going to make $2.2 million.
Right.
If I run the NCAA and I look at that, I'm like, man, the agents, the collective companies, the companies that's interested in the institutions, they gonna take the power. I don't want these agents lurking around my players. And now the player got 2.2, but the agent gonna get 20%. So he got 400K really. Right? So how do we get that power back without getting sued? Because right now the NCAA, when you go back to Reggie Bush and him having to give up his Heisman Trophy, and then now there's a lawsuit out because he got his Heisman Trophy back, and all the other people that lost money and lost opportunities along the way. I'm getting sued for this. I'm getting sued for by the Ivy League schools over not getting a COVID year back. How do I get power back without being sued? It's simple. Empower those that work for me. So the institutions work for the NCAA.
Right.
So now what I'm saying is that Al and Vic, the Al institution, you can pay your players. The Vic institution, you can put them on payroll. It's very hard for me to believe as a leader of this organization that you're going to invest $2 million into one player when your coach only make $800K. Right? So you end up getting the money back by just making them employees. And then eventually, when you're not worried about being sued as much, right? You're just trying to figure out the muddy water right now.
Right.
It will turn back into name, image, and likeness being the reason why you get this money, because now boosters and donors and supporters are going to say, if you can pay them, why I got to pay them? Because the thing about name, image, and likeness is that if I contribute to the collective, I can't use that as a tax write-off.
Right.
It got to come out of my own personal bank account. And LeBron makes $1 million a year that he gives to different people that never touches his own personal money that he makes.
Right.
So if you're a business person, you're not really interested in giving away the income that goes into your personal bank account. But those companies that's connected to you, you'll give their money away.
Right.
Right. Or you'll use the money that you give away as a tax write-off. Well, NIL doesn't allow you to do that. So now people get hesitant, and now it turns into, well, if you can pay your players, we can get the power back from that perspective.
One more question before I get to you, Vic. It says the NCAA and the Power 5. Can you clear this up? Is it just the Power 5, or can any college, D1 college, pay their players?
Man, so what we joke about at the mid-major level is that if we don't get to a Power 5 soon, then we're gonna be forgotten. Right? Yeah. We're gonna be in a league of our own. Right now, the primary focus goes to the Power 5s because, again, it's about the money, the power, and the respect. Right. There's nobody at the mid-major level that's getting $2 million to come play in the MAC, in the MEAC, in the SWAC, in the Horizon. None of that, right? We not getting that type of player. They're gonna make 50 to 100K with us. Right. The people that's making the big bread is the Power 5, so they got to get that under control first, and then they're gonna throw us a bone and say, "Well, y'all can do it if y'all want to." Also, right. If they keep it how it is now, it can be 15 doctors from Harvard that say, "You know what? We want to go buy us a roster," and now Harvard go win them a national championship.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you can just single out the Power 5 and say you all can do it, and just blatantly that's crazy. Vic, what do you think about this new rule?
Coach, I want to clear something up. Did you say that the other schools can do it, they just can't pay as much, right?
Correct.
Right, Al. So he's not saying that the Power 5 schools are the only one that can do it. He know that the Power 5 schools have the millions of dollars to pay, not hundreds of thousands.
Yeah,
so that's really
they are starting with the Power 5s. We haven't got the go ahead at our level to go yet. The Power 5.
Oh, okay. That's what I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be the pilot to it. But the way the NCAA work, if they say it's only the Power 5s, and then you're gonna get some mid majors that's super smart, the Miami of Ohio's of the world, and they're gonna sue them. So they really just like is a pecking order in order to get everybody involved and give them the opportunity.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Vic.
So yeah, but they lean on their money making, like Coach said. They trying to get their power back though, bro. Like for a long time, it was just here goes a scholarship, and you good. I'm gonna use your image on the video games for NCAA and all that, and you don't get a dime. Now that you're getting paid for coming to this school, not just a scholarship, you actually can do other things in your own likeness and use your money. They have a problem with that. It's all about greed, bro. It's like corporate thing, same thing with the NFL, bro. These are all like corporations, bro. That's all it is. It's just corporate business with them. They looking at the money that they're losing, and they trying to find a way to recoup. Like he said, simple.
Yeah, and one thing I thought about is like this is going to make the big schools more relevant in the long run because they can get the best players, and now they get the star power. We all see what happened with the women's basketball. When you have star power, the ratings are up, and I feel like this can get the star power back in the men's game. What do you think about that, Coach?
Man, it's hard to put a thumbprint on the star power with social media because you never know who the stars are going to be. Like Caitlin Clark, what she did was amazing, and that ended up taking flame.
Right.
Oftentimes, it's a lot of debates. Like, man, okay, if she was a black chick, would she had taken off the same way?
Right.
If it wasn't Iowa, would she had taken off the same way? No, I think she would have, out of the benefit of just being politically correct. I think she would have.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just appreciate your honesty as a coach right now to be able to say that. I just appreciate that. Keep going.
Well, it's a part of the game. And then you go, when you come to the men's side, like, man, for so long, like this past season, we watched LeBron. We watched LeBron's son at USC, and every time he scored, it was on ESPN.
Right.
So with social media, with the media outlets, it's hard to really figure out and put a thumbprint on like what the star power will be. Obviously, having money, you're going to be able to go and pay for that and be able to get it. But will it bring the star power back? I don't know. I think right now, the things that you can count on, the things that I think the NCAA are counting on is March Madness.
Yeah.
Right. As always, that's the money maker. No different than the NBA counting on the playoffs. And like, how many people watch the Pro Bowl in the NFL? Like, it's about the Super Bowl. It's about getting to the Mecca, right? So those will always be the contingency plan to make sure that the bills can get paid. Right. The benefits will come of the Dukes of the world and North Carolinas of the world, the Ohio States, the Michigans of the world ended up getting guys. Like, when's the next Fab Five going to come? So now a team go buy a Fab Five, and that can become the narrative. So the narrative of star power is going to be hard to predict, but the primary things, right, keeping the main thing, the tournament, the March Madness, those things will consistently stay with your top teams being your favorites.
Right. And I know it's going to be hard for star powers being that everybody is one and done, but I think the best players will be more to the forefront with this type of rule. But I think, them not staying as long as back in the day hurts stars being built. But I think that this can actually put the eyes more on like the Power 5 school.
Man, let me ask you and Vic a question since you touched on that.
I just want to touch on that thing. One thing with them only doing the Power 5 schools. I feel that's just putting like he said, the MEACs and the SWACs and all these other schools at a big disadvantage right now, man. That's gonna hurt recruiting. It's gonna be like hella lawsuits behind that from the smaller schools. Like, come on, you got to level the playing field. Yeah, that was it. That's all I wanted to say.
I completely agree with you, Vic. The question I have for y'all is this. You talked about one and dones. Because of the transfer portal and NIL, right? And now the ability to pay players. Do you reopen straight to the NBA out of high school? Is that rule even relevant anymore? Because kids going to 3 or 4 colleges a year,
right?
And they getting paid now.
Right.
You also got guys going to the G League and all this stuff, you know what I mean? Right out of high school instead of going to the NBA, and then they getting drafted out of the G League, like kind of like straight out of high school that like 1 year. I guess that's professional basketball, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you though. Like guys 18 years old should be able to go right to the NBA. Why not? I agree with you. I'm with that. Why not? There's no reason why not anymore. There's no reason for it not anymore. Like I don't understand. Yeah.
I was always of the mindset, if you can go fight a war at 18, why can't you go make a living at 18? That was always my stance, and that's it, and it's still the same stance. So if you can go work for the country and go risk your life at 18, I should be able to risk my life to make my own living. And so if a team drafts me, that's their decision. If they don't, then I got to deal with that. But I should have the opportunity at 18 to do that out of high school. So I appreciate that question. I definitely need your opinion on another subject. Vic, I want to come to you first though, man. Bronny James is reports say he's going to stay in the draft And based on what you've seen, Vic, do you think he's going to get drafted? Do you like his game? What do you think about Bronny?
I think Bronny gonna be solid, bro. Like, I mean, he hasn't shown much right now. You know what I'm saying? Kid's 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to play much as a freshman. He showed little glimpses. The NBA, like I said, bro, the NBA, his game is made more so for the NBA because right now he's like a transition player. Get the ball out on the break. Use his athleticism. You know what I'm saying? His size, nice size little guard or whatever. Bro, I think just like time. It's gonna take time with him. It's like a team is gonna go ahead and draft him, honestly, because namesake, we all know that. So let's just get that out the way and act like it won't be a shock when he goes even high. Let's act like a shock because teams trying to recruit his pops. You know what I'm saying? So that's another part to it. But if he was anybody else, bro, he would probably be in the G League like right out the gate. But with him being LeBron James' son, he is going to the NBA.
You made a point about the style of play, and I definitely think college and NBA is a different style of play. I've seen people in college average 14, 15 points a game, but when they go to the league, it's like the game opens up more where they can show more. I definitely need your take, Coach, because you in the college ranks. Do you think his game can expand being in the NBA, or what do you see out of Bronny James and his possible draft stock?
Man, I think Bronny need to stay in college. I think he need to go to Duquesne, play for Coach Joyce, be a starter for 3 years, make $1 million a year off of name, image, and likeness, and develop as a player. Right. I think when he gets to the NBA, he's going to be put in such a role to underdevelop. Like, he's not going to be a two-way guy. He's going to be a guy that's at the end of the bench and full-time NBA because he's Bronny James. He's not going to know how to handle that adversity at his age. And just watching him live 2 years ago in AAU before he went to USC, man, at Cleveland State, I called him like, man, hey, Bronny, Cleveland's for you. Like, let's go. Let's get you over here.
Right.
I think if he's not LeBron James' son, he's a mid-major plus point guard. If I'm just being candidly honest, right? I'm sitting here being candidly honest. The fact that he is LeBron James' son, he's going to have the resources and the opportunities that others won't have. And 4 years from now, 5 years from now, if he's able to sustain the trials and tribulations of an 82-game season and being LeBron James' son in the NBA, he'll have a solid NBA career. And then he'll get into coaching.
Yeah.
I know LeBron fans gonna hate me when I say this, but I think Marcus Jordan was a better college player and high school prospect than Bronny James. And I'm not trying to start a LeBron James war, Michael Jordan war. I promise I'm not. But I'm just being honest, bro. Can we go back and look at it? Marcus Jordan was a better college basketball player than Bronny James, and he never made it in the NBA.
What are we doing here, man? You about to have all the LeBron James group.
Hey, bro, I'm just asking a question. Did Marcus James, who was the better college player? This is an honest question.
I'm going to put that as a question. I'm going to take it as a poll. Who was the better prospect, Marcus Jordan or Bronny James? And when they come at
showing off what they showed in their last year in college, going to the NBA, it's Marcus Jordan all day.
Wow. Let me get some of these comments for the LeBron fans come at us. Black Butterfly Paul says, man, Bronny wasn't good in high school. Bronny won't be good at all. He can't shoot, and this is no knock on him. He plays like a 6'1" LBJ. He can't play like that in the NBA. He isn't super athletic. He can't dribble. I think I would disagree with some of that. As far as, well, I wouldn't say super athletic, but he is athletic. I think he has a decent dribble from what I've seen. I wouldn't say it's over the top. I think he has a pretty good handle. And, well, if he played like a 6'1" LBJ, I mean, that is his pop. So, I mean, I believe he got some moves from his pops.
I mean, he can develop into – it's a possibility he can develop into something. There's also a possibility that he won't be in the NBA. Like Coach said, it's just we don't know, depending on what situation he winds up in. It's good. He need to go somewhere that stinks, but that ain't going to attract the dad. But he need to go somewhere that stinks where he can just see what he got, see what they have in him 2 or 3 years right away, see what they have, and then cut their ties.
What do you think the ceiling, Vic? What do you think his ceiling is? So Coach said he can, if he stay in it, he can have a solid NBA career. What do you think his ceiling is?
I think he can be like a solid 6-man, bro. You know,
Six.
back up guard. You know what I'm saying? Like the third string guard.
Okay, I think it trickled down from a 6-man to like a
Well,
third.
depending on how your bench going. You know what I mean? Though, like you have a big first off the bench, you have a guard first off the bench. What I'm saying, like I think he can get in the guard rotation.
Okay, in a rotation.
On the team
Okay.
eventually, if his game develops. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
He's gonna have the resources, like Coach said. He's LeBron James' son. I just always take that into factor that even in the offseason, he's gonna get the coaching he needs to improve his shot, his dribble. Like we've seen guys come out of nowhere, never average 20 points a game anywhere, like Jimmy Butler. Worked on this game. Dude had some of the worst handle I've seen when he's a rookie as a Bull. Dude came back, learned how to dribble through his legs behind his back. Next year, dude came back with a mid post-up game. Like, I've seen guys that come from nowhere improve. This guy's LeBron James' son. He's going to have even more resources than Jimmy Butler had. Like, basically what dude did was locked himself in the gym and literally worked by himself. No coaches, no nothing. Literally worked in the gym by himself.
Jimmy Butler was 6'6" and can fly.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Like
I'm just talking about the aspect of development and working on your game and guys coming out of nowhere. Like, I think with the right situation, like I said, going to the right place and working on this game, I think, like you said, he can have a solid NBA career. He can be a rotational guard. He is not going to be an all-star. He's not going to be a all-time great.
I think when you said like a rotation guard, like maybe like a third string, I think that's more likely. The 6-man, I was like, well, 6-man, that's a little much. But I think when you said the rotation guard, I think you was on point with that one.
You think he couldn't be like? You don't think he like if he developed, he couldn't come off the bench and get you like 10 points a game, like Vinny Johnson or somebody?
Well,
that's all I'm saying. That's because that's like Vinny Johnson. That was for the most part. Like he had his games and his times where he would score his 25 and his 30, but consistently. He was 10 to 14 points a game off the bench, and they was clutch buckets in the rotation, third string guard. I'm not comparing him to Vinny Johnson. I'm talking about the situations. That's all. You don't think he could develop to where he could be a 10-point a game scorer for 2 or 3 assists off the bench, rotational guy, like what Mike Conley doing at his age now.
Nah,
he couldn't be that as a young guy.
Based on what I've seen and what I've heard, I think, like you said, the third string point guard. I think that fits. Coach, you have anything more to add to what Vic's?
But the way look the way the league goes, though, third string guards get to play.
Yeah, I mean, if he was with
Kobe White, Ayo DeSumo, these guys get to play. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Alonzo Ball stay healthy, Zach LaVine healthy. These guys buried down on the bench. They 6 men, 7 men, rotational guards. That's what I mean by that. That's all I'm saying.
I'll say this: you would be right if he played with Thibodeau when everybody got injured, and then like John Lucas III and David Augustine was coming in getting buckets because they had nobody else. If he played for Tibbs and was able to get them opportunities, then you might have a chance. But Coach, go ahead.
No, man, I think Bronny would have a way better opportunity if he finished college and developed and let his body mature and understood angles and things of that nature. Because for him to have success, he's gonna have to be really good out of ball screens. He's gonna have to be really good in transition. Like he's gonna have to pick and choose his times, and his IQ is gonna have to carry him with his size.
Right.
I think average athleticism at 6'1" in the NBA is a hard match when you're not an elite shooter.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to transition himself into a full-time point guard, like a true point guard. And as a general manager, it's hard to think of like who looking for that right now.
Right. And I agree with what you said earlier. Like to go to Duquesne. Don't the coach they have a relationship with? Ain't that the relationship with LeBron James? It's a connection there. Was a like old high school coach or something, or
he was his old high school teammate. It was his point guard in college.
So there's a connection there. It seems like the perfect fit to develop and you have a connection with the coach. Like it, like I don't understand why he wouldn't take that opportunity and then
the coach is his goddad almost. Like they thick as thieves. So, but at the end of the day, I'll tell you, like when it comes to my own kids.
Yeah.
I'm always going to do what's best for them and put them in the best possible situation to be successful. So I never tell another man how to advise his son, especially when he walking the path I've never walked. Right. So, man, you don't know what they have in that meetings, what they're looking out for, what they're looking for him to have, what plan of action they have in place for his development.
Right.
None of those things. Like there could be a plan in place to make sure that they know the weaknesses that he has to get him to the level that he needs to get to.
Right.
Because I don't think money will be an issue to prevent him from being on a roster. Like he'll take the league minimum to be on a roster and know 5 years after taking the league minimum year one, he gonna get the max amount based off his production of X, Y, and Z. So it's definitely a plan. It's hard for me to believe with as smart as LeBron is as a businessman, he's just gonna let his son go out there and set himself up for failure.
I mean, he 18 right now. I mean, he ain't done growing. Could he get to be 6'3"? I mean, he's only 18. He's not done growing.
That's a possibility. But I think that
I'm looking at just like alternate scenarios. Like we've already established on our opinion, if he wasn't LeBron's son, things would be totally different as far as what we've seen of his game already. I'm just looking at projections with him getting to work with professionals, guiding professionals, learning how to be a professional player at the NBA level, that some of this rubs off on him and he finds ways to contribute.
And I hope the chance of playing with his dad or playing against his dad is not taking over the overall progression of his game. You know, just to play in the league instead of developing and to have a better career possibly. So I just hope that's not the case. But once again, like you say, can't tell nobody.
Well, can I end this note with him? We know he can name for himself. So, you know what I'm saying? We just go get that out there. He's not going to be able to make a name for himself with his game. So what he has to do is come in and learn how to get in the NBA and just be a rotational player. He does. Don't try to be your dad. Don't try to, you know what I'm saying? Not try to work it. Don't try to work it your hard or try to live up to his legacy. Try to make your own way. Find what you're good at and stick at that. Don't try to go out there and get triple doubles and be like your dad and all that. Go out there and play your game, bro. Be the best version of yourself.
Right. Well, let me read a couple of comments as we wind down. Black Butterfly Pop says Brian DeLosa was better. That was a high school player that went to school with us. I'm gonna tag Brian, and when he sees that, he said they lied about his height. Bryce is going to be better. Bryce is definitely taller for sure.
Oh, I like Bryce better too. Since somebody did speak on that real quick. Yeah, I like Bryce better too. Yeah, Bryce got that. Bryce at his age right now, all the clips I done seen and some things I seen is a better outside shooter than LeBron and Bronny Jr. already. Got a better outside shot than both of these cats already.
Real quick, Coach. What do you see? What do you think about Bryce of everything you've seen and heard?
Man, that was gonna be my ending statement. Bryce on that tail, he coming. Bryce is the sleeping giant, and that's gonna be another animal that Bronny gonna have to. Like, I feel bad for Bronny because he's sandwiched in between his brother and his dad. His brother gonna have game, his dad got game, and he's just okay.
And his brother like 16. He's 6'6" already. 6'5", 6'6" already. He's 16. He might wind up being 6'8" like that. You know what I'm saying?
Fact. So Bryce got the real good genes. But
it's gonna be Bronny Sports instead of Clutch Sports, and Bronny gonna be running it.
Yeah,
for sure. As we wind
because we all know that's your dad. It's not a great possibility that you go wind up in the NBA. I mean, Michael Jordan kids are designing shoes, making billions of dollars. So, bro, LeBron, your dad, you got an ultimate fallback. So, don't trip.
Yeah, they got media and all types of stuff. They're not gonna be hurt for anything. So they definitely gonna be good. As we wind down, get close to the show, I do got my scripture for the day. It is Jeremiah 31 and 25. And it was a right on time scripture for me. So I just decided I think I would share it with everyone else. And it just quickly just says, I'll refresh tired bodies. I'll restore tired souls. And so it was an on time scripture for me. But if you're struggling, just being tired, either physically or just tired of situations, or if you just got a tired soul, this scripture says God will do that for you. So if you're struggling, I will say called out to God. His word says he will restore tired souls and refresh tired bodies. And I know I can use that every once in a while for sure. And so that's the scripture for the day. And I think if you look at that can be even vacations. Like that could be a word for he'll refresh you if you just take a vacation, he'll refresh you that way. Or if you just get out by yourself, he can restore your soul. So Jeremiah 31:25, that is the scripture for the day. Hopefully that do something for you. It did something for me. And we about to get up out of here. I appreciate all the viewers that checked in. Coach, I want to thank you again for coming, man. It's been a long time. Thank you for the insight, man. We definitely got some great information from you today, man.
Always good to be on, Al. Vic, good to meet you, bro. Love the insight. Anytime. You know I'm just a phone call away.
Appreciate you, Vic, as always. Thank you, my brother. You always come with it, man. And
bro, thank you always, bro, for the invite. You know what I'm saying? And when I ain't doing nothing, bro, just hit me up. You know, I'll definitely hop on with you, Coach. It was nice meeting you, bro. Thanks for all the knowledge you passed upon, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's truly appreciated. And I done locked some of it in. And now when I go talk to my guys, bro, I'm like, man, get a little bit more analytical with them. I appreciate that.
I'm definitely using that. Like, man, you ain't never thought about the dead ball analytics, did you? See, you know nothing about that. That's courtesy
of coach talk. That's that coach talk.
Already. But man, yeah. Once again, man, appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time. We are out.
Peace.
We lock and load, Allen Pants.